So here we have an image that's just about ready to be uploaded for stock. It's sharp, the colours are good, you've got all sorts of weird and wonderful things in the shot. Obviously it's a ladybird, but you've also got things like these. I don't know if they're ants or something's wrapped up ready for lunch later on, I don't know. But it's almost ready to go up. But one thing I want to point out, this was taken with a Canon 5D Mark II, so already we're up to 60.2 megabytes uncompressed, so already it's big enough for a good sized image, a Alamy or something like that, or definitely for micro stock it's fine. But there's too much in the way of information around the outside of the subject. It was taken with a 105mm Sigma macro lens handheld, and this was about as close as I could get without kind of losing, you know, focus and things like that and depth of field. So I knew that because of the resolution of the Mark II, I would have enough room for cropping later. So to make this a more acceptable looking image, there's various things I can do with this, and I have to decide what I want to keep in the shot. Now the things I really want to keep in are the ladybird, the bunch of bugs. This spike here is quite interesting. This bit coming down here, I don't want to dissect that because it will lead out the photo, and I want to keep some of this leaf in. So if we start to crop around here and just bring it across maybe to about there, that then has all the elements I want to keep in, and it also leaves some copy space here and here for any designers, that kind of thing. It's kind of personal choice as to how you crop an image, but at the moment that looks quite good because we're obeying the rule of thirds. Not that they need obeying, but we're gonna bring this over even more so that the distance between this spike and this spike is almost the same, so there's kind of appropriate gaps. But also there's enough copy space here. The ladybird isn't dead center, so it doesn't look too bad at all. So let's just bring this down ever so slightly to the top of that bit there, and then just crop. And I think there we've got a much more acceptable image to be used for stock, because a designer can use it, and there, like I said, there's plenty of copy space. There's enough elements of interest in the shot to go and complement the ladybird. And if we revert back to the old one, you can see it's a lot more pleasing to the eye for a stock shot. It's much better crop. And we've also got 25.1 megabytes, so we need to up-res that, and we can up-res it using genuine fractals back up to 48 megabytes without losing too much definition. But even as it stands, it will do fine for all of the microstock sites. So even though I've halved the resolution of the image from a Mark II, it's still good enough for most microstock sites. And here you can see I've saved that image, and here's the original. It's 5616 by 3744 pixels at 12.5 megabytes, and the cropped version is still at 3764 by 2332 pixels, which is 5.5 megabytes. So that is definitely acceptable at all of the microsites. So even though I've more than halved the crop using a big censored camera like the Mark II, the Canon 5D Mark II, I've still got enough resolution to upload that image after it's been cropped. So sometimes there's an argument as to whether high megapixel cameras are good. I think they're good for very much for this reason. I also use this cropping technique for weddings. If I've got a shot that I've had to take really quickly, I haven't had time to compose it properly, I know that I've got enough resolution later on to come back and crop the image in Photoshop and still end up with a really highly printable image. So when you look at a photo before you upload it, just make sure that you've cropped it to its full potential. Try 2 or 3 crops and see how you get on, but end up with something that you know that can be used. Think about the buyer, think about the person that's going to use the image and how they would use it and how it would look on a screen. You could even make 2 crops of this, one that way and one maybe upright for maybe magazine covers or nature books, things like that. So you can crop that way as well. So again, you've got copy space here, copy space down here, and again, think about what you're doing and think about which you think looks best, and also maybe do a bit of research to see what people are after, whether it's portrait or landscape shots. Even try uploading both and let the reviewers decide which one they want to keep. But I hope that helps with cropping. Just make sure you do look at all the edges of your photo and make sure that it looks good before you've uploaded it, and get rid of any elements that don't look good in the photo. But cropping can be good as long as you've got a high enough resolution image to start with.